What is up, YouTube? Hello? Hello? Okay, sweet, I can hear myself. Alright, you guys, right now, just, gonna build let's see, this is my warehouse, okay? Um, I know from time I've basically showed up out of nowhere, so I just wanted to give you a big concept. This is the warehouse that I used to work at. Um, One of these days I could show you it, but right now it's not I mean, of course, you already know the name. Um, this is basically the start of the warehouse, and I'm trying to work all the way towards the back. So, yeah, that was also one of the things that I do want to talk about. And Lord, I don't know, just it's been very crazy. TikTok has finally got onto the App Store. I did install it, but then I uninstall it. One thing that's very interesting is that they're not really certain on whether or not they would just want to keep it. So it's like I don't know. To me, I don't like to do uncertainties. Being uncertain about something, doing one thing or another, doesn't always work out. You're always gonna be certain with everything, um, whether if it's a career path or lifestyle or relationships. You always gotta be certain about a lot of things. So to me, it's just one of those things that I wish I could go back to and look at, but it is still not the same as it used to be. So I'm gonna keep it that way. Um, I don't know. I haven't really gone into much detail about my relationship with TikTok, but it's been pretty like it's not bad, but it's not good either. It's toxic. Um, it kind of reminded me of someone, at least something that happened like during this warehouse and right before. So it happened between like like this one, okay? I'm not gonna show you the whole name because yeah, I don't I just yeah, and this one, okay. So basically, what it means is that I've come to the conclusion that TikTok is basically treating me like how my ex would treat me, basically, or during the time I was dating them. I don't know why I have a mine cart. It wasn't even supposed to be here. And for one, I don't know how I end up missing it, but I did. I'm trying to run this so that way I can just connect all like put the railings more over here and towards the very end. That way it can connect to each other. Okay? So yeah, so I'm just like I was kind of done having like the idea of having TikTok and again. I decided I would rather preferably try to create more content here than over there because I can't do uncertainties. Um, that's just one of the main reasons and how like the brain rot of it is to be scrolling morning and night and midday. I mean, I've missed so much. So at that point, it's one of those things I just had to cut myself off from. Um, Most people are not gonna understand unless they have the conscience of us understanding it. So I mean, to be honest, it's you have to really think: is this good for me? Uh, is it gonna be beneficial towards like 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 15? You gotta think about the big picture. Um, Really, everyone downsized the picture, into like a little tiny block, but it goes far beyond that when you actually have to figure out like what you want to do and what you want to become. You know, there is no right or wrong answer. You just don't know yet. And it's gonna take some time and it's gonna take some work, hard work. It's gonna take a lot of tears, and a lot of laughs too on top of it. It's just one of those things. You gotta enjoy the times um, that are tough. For me, um, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I think I should definitely have like reflection on it basically, and just think that what I did was not healthy at all. But but in the future, I do hope for a healthier um, year or 2 years because man, boy, I tell you, it's like you could do the most craziest things when you're in your 20s, but honestly, this is just not bad at all. But it's okay. It takes time. It takes time to get to know yourself. For me, it took me a while to figure out what I like or what what I actually enjoy of doing. Um, Without sounding a bit cringy, I like to do things on my own. I'm a lone wolf. I like doing things like going to concerts by myself. I like to go to movies by myself. I like to just hang out alone. It's not a lovely way of saying it. It's just the fact that I like to do things on my own because I don't have to rely on transportation or rely on people that have to be there at a certain time. I've relied a lot of people to help me and to basically take me out. I never got to actually host things myself. I never got to actually host a housewarming party. I mean, only once. I mean, it's not a housewarming party, it's more like an apartment, basically. But man, if I could do it all over again, I say you need to save up for a car. And if you can't, let's say you're desperate now, right? Well, then you gotta get yourself a bicycle, okay? If you're gonna go to work and it's gonna take you some time to get there, then you gotta, have that time estimate of how long it's gonna take you to point A to point B. Um, it's a lot easier than what it sounds, but it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy because it depends on where you live. You gotta think, okay, January between March. I know January is the best time of the season, or it could be the worst time of the season depending where you're at. Um, it could be snowing. Some places are not snowing. Um, for March, it's a beautiful day outside. Sometimes it's unbearable. The heat is just awful. But you gotta just think those things. Like, sometimes you don't really have a choice in that matter. So you have to really put into gear and just drive through it. So yeah, I've been talking for 11 minutes, so I just wanted to say hi, you guys. I know it's gonna be a while. Gonna try and get some new equipment and try to get this thing going, cause I do have a lot that I want to share, and I do have a lot to say. It's just that I needed the time and space for me to do so. So I'm gonna try my best and, you know, keep it together, because my lord, I have overtime and it's insane. Now we're gonna have mandatory overtime. So if you don't know what it's like, then it's good in a way, but at the same time, oh lord, I think it's best to say that you would rather work hard than to get mandatory overtime. I mean, to me, it's bad because you have no choice, and no matter if you're not, if you don't show up, they'll call you as a no call, no show, or you're considered as late. And so that would mark you, you know, it's very different when it comes to school. So if you're about 18 right now during this year, you're gonna need to actually amp up, pretty much put your butt into gear and actually look at the real world, because it's coming soon. So if you're living with your parents, you gotta be grateful for what they are giving you, because I mean, for me, I should have been grateful. I mean, I am grateful with my parents. They have given me a lot than most parents have with their children. So I mean, I am grateful. And I certainly am humble and trying to be humble and trying to work hard and, and try to do stuff the right way. But there is some flaws that I have. So it's it's kind of hard to basically say you're a good person when you don't really think so. I do have my moments. I do get angry at times. I do get frustrated with people. Um, so I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm all good and mighty here, which is not the case. And I mean, I do have a lot of baggage, as you would say, but other than that, it's pretty good. So what I'm trying to do here right now is just putting up wooden planks, and I'm trying to put like these iron bars here, so that way I can just it's more like a decoration. It's, I mean, okay, well, it's not like a decoration, okay? So between these walls, there's like these orange metal, like, I guess you could say that they basically help the people who are forklift drivers. They basically prevents you from pushing another pallet to another pallet, and it prevents the other pallet from the other side from falling. So, and you can know right away because you could scrape metal with metal, and you can tell that you're pushing way far back, or or it's just, it just makes that awful sound. So I haven't been on a forklift for a long time, so it's been one of those things where you can actually miss being on. You know, I do like to make like the turns. Sometimes it could get a little scary though because it could be wobbly, but other than that, it is very fun to be on the forklift. Like the arms can extend way up, like up here. I'm not sure if these walls should be higher than this, but I I mean, I counted at one point,